To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. Welcome to the show that's by a fan, for the fan, and about you, the fans. How are you doing tonight? How are you? I am doing good. I got NHL Network on. They're doing the top 10 goalies right now. Yes, I know they've already done it. I didn't see it. It's just a lazy Sunday. I was talking to somebody on Facebook, and they were telling me they're having a rough time. And I said, hey, you want me to do a show? And he said, not really. But I said, you know what? I'll do it anyways. So you got something to hang on to if you want to. That's what I'm here for you. Man, everybody's going through a tough time with different things. And sometimes you just need an escape. And for me, with some of the stuff that I was going through, this is my escape. So if it can be yours, more power to you, man. I appreciate it. I'm wondering if they put Bennington in the top 10. To me, he's probably around 7 or 8. Actually, it could be as high as 5 or 6, to be honest with you. Right? I really want to see where they put him. He's got to be in the top 10. I cannot see him not being in the top 10. Now, I know he had somewhat of an off year, but the way he played in the playoffs, it was fantastic, man. It was just out of this world, amazing, and it just makes me think that he can go further. He can do more. I really do. Wow, they've already got 1 through 5 up. I've never seen. Oh, those was last year. Vasilevsky was number 1 last year. Hellebuck was number 2, though Hellebuck fell way off. Andre Fleury 3, Price 4. Price isn't even on that list anymore. And then Grubauer 5. I see 3 of those guys not even being on that list. Right? I can see 3 guys not even being on that list on the top 10 this season. Right? Age of they've got 6 in the 26 to 29. To me, that's got to be one of Bennington, because I don't think Bennington's 30 yet. I know he's getting there, but I don't think he's there yet. Sorry, getting a bit of a drink. How you doing today, man? Talk to me. Devin Dubnyk. All right, 253 career wins, 2.61 GAA. Bill Masterton Trophy winner in 14-15. Right, I love some of the guys that they have on there. Oh man, I remember the other day Wendy was talking about that documentary called Untold, Crimes and Penalties. I think it's what it was, about the Danbury Trashers. Oh my good, I didn't realize Mike Rupp played 1 season for them during the lockout. That's just wow. Mike, how are you doing, Mike? How are you? Welcome. Listen to my hockey show. We're watching Kyle Busch kicking it. I lost interest in NASCAR this season, and that's your fault, Bob. It's because of the they got Fleury at 10. As hard as I was trying in that fantasy league, I was still in last place almost every week. So I kind of lost it. Mike, how you doing, my friend? How are you? All right, so they got Fleury at 10, and I can kind of see that. He's going to have a rough season, though. Says my boy ran out of talent and wrecked. I'm a Chase Elliott fan. I like Chase Elliott. Mike, I miss hockey too, my friend. I miss hockey big time. I miss my Warrior friends. I miss my Warrior friends, man. I wish I was there with them. Just over a year ago, I snapped my wrist in half. What do they got? Ottinger at number 9. I think I can see that. I thought he'd be maybe a little bit higher. Yeah. Oh, eat me. Eat my shorts, Morton. A year ago, Morton and me and Morton brought the boys to Ted Drew's in St. Louis, and I got to meet them for the first time. It was absolutely fantastic. They're great kids. I love them to death, and I think he knows that. Little Chase growing up so fast. Almost 3 years old this year, man. 3 years old. Wow. I think that's right. Yeah, it should be almost 3. All right, there we go. So Bennington's got to be in the if not in the top 5, between. He's got to be in the bottom 5. I can see that. I can really see that. Right. I was surprised that Fleury went to Minnesota, but it didn't. I mean, I thought that could have been done. At the moment, no, but things can change. Maybe I'm still hopeful that this show's going to blow up, and I'm going to have hundreds and hundreds of people watching, and get somebody's interest that wants to bring me in. By the way, now I'm thinking about, let's see if I can find this and pull this up. For those of you in St. Louis, there's something going on in St. Louis. I think it's on the 9th. That's related to the Warriors. I know they got a couple of things going on, but a big one is there's a bar called Hat Tricks that is having a that is I'm trying to bring it up. One of their own is fighting cancer, and they're doing a fundraiser for them. Let's see if I can find this. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Let me share this. Let me bring this up for you guys. Hey, Lance. If you want to join me, let me know. I put a link in there. I'm kind of watching this top 10 to see where they're at. Share screen. If I'm not sure where Hat Trick's at, I think it's in O'Fallon. If you're out and around the area, if you can support, please check it out. I will share it here in a second. There we go. There it is. The Hat Tricks right there. I don't know how well you can see that. Hopefully well enough. But check it out. I think it would be, it's good for one of the Warriors. I think Matt Mitchell is, there we go. Tuesday on the 6th. Join our Dine Out for the Cause. 10% of the sales are going to go back to Matt Mitchell. So if you're in the area, and if you can, please help out. I wish I could get somebody from Hat Tricks to come on and talk about it. Who knows? I reached out to him, didn't get anything back, but we'll keep trying. I don't give up. I think you guys all know that about me. I'll get told no a lot more than I'll ever get told yes. So there you go. Check that out. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Oh yeah, well, I know you had one and it closed down, Mike. I didn't know if you got another one. Right? I didn't know if you got another one. Oh wow, they're talking about Ottinger having a .954 save percentage, and that's the highest since 1956 in a minimum of 7 games. Wow. Wow, and Jock Plant was on there, but I think he was with Montreal when he did it. I'm hoping Ottinger wasn't a flash in the pan. That kind of concerned me. They moved to another bar. That's cool. My daughter used to live in New York, but she's back in L.A. now. I would love to get up there someday. I'd love, I'm hopeful that someday I'm going to, within the next couple of years, and I'm going to figure out a way to be a beat reporter and be able to really get out there and do what I'd love to do. I got to start writing more. I need you guys to push me, push, 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 push. Get Guy writing, make him write, get him to that point where he's doing the things that you guys enjoy. I know some of you really do enjoy my reading my stuff. At least I hope you do. At least that's my hope. I don't know if that's the case, but it is my hope. Let's see. I'm looking for something here. I wonder if they even put Bennington in the top 10. I could see them not putting him in the top 10 and not seeing, because of the way his season was. I could really, really see that, to be honest with you. I really, really could. Where are we at here? I'm kind of lost in things. I'm lost in my talking. Oh, 695, 5 away. Can he do it? Can he hit? I think so. Magic numbers 21. Ooh, wow. There's enough games for Pujols to get 700. I don't think he gets 714. I think he can get about 710 though. I don't know. 710 might be a little high. That's 15 more. Nah, maybe he's 705. I'll give him 10 more. I know he's having a good year. I'm still waiting to see this top 10 list. I know I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's already out there. I just didn't get a chance to watch it when it originally came out. Let me do a quick thing here. I'm looking forward to. Here we go. I might have it. Wow. This is this. Oh, wow. Wow. They didn't put Bennington in the top 10. That's messed up. I'm sorry. I hope he uses this as fuel. I cannot believe that. Wow. I am shocked. They have Marc-Andre Fleury at 10, Ottinger at 9, Frederick Anderson at 8, Buck at 7. All right. Thatcher Demko from the Canucks at 6. Ela Shorkin from the Islanders at 5. Markstrom from the Calgary Flames at 4. Saros from the Predators at 3. Shearskin from the Rangers at 2. And Vasilevsky from Tampa Bay at 1, which I don't have an issue with. But oh wow, man, the rest of that list is a joke to me. Wow, how you not have Bennington on there? Well, I mean that's just how I see it. Bennington had. I'm sorry, you can look at the whole year, but you look at what he did. I disagree with that. I really disagree with that. I disagree with that. I don't think so. You have to look at what he did in the playoffs, right? How shut down he was in the playoffs, right? And if you're not taking that into consideration, yeah, Ryan, I see that. I do see that. In all of these lists so far, only 2 Blues have made the list, and they were at the bottom of the list. You had Thomas at 20 in centers, and I think O'Reilly was 16. Right? Well, you know what? But here it is. You're talking about what's coming into this season. right? That's coming into this season. And if you're going to sit there and dismiss what he did in the playoffs, right? Demko didn't even make the playoffs. Demko's team didn't even make the playoffs. So how can you sit there and say that Demko's better, right? I think you can, and I also think you can look at some other things. There, the COVID and things like that. I'm sorry. I think you're dismissing him. I think he will be a top 5 goalie this season, right? I really do. Absolutely, Wendy. Come on, bud. Come on down. You're the next contestant on This Show Really Sucks. And can you save it? Probably not, but what the hell? We'll give it a try anyways. All right. I'm sorry. I think Bennington should have been higher on that list. You know what, Lance? I think he's going to have that season this season. I think he's either 28 or 29, and he's at that, and he's healthy. That's the thing. I think if he's completely healthy, right, and from what we know about his knee, he probably will. Right. I think he's going to be top 5. You guys, why are you dismissing him? Right? You are the same guys that sit there and told me, if he doesn't get knocked out, we win that series. Well, wait a minute. How can you sit there and tell me if he doesn't get knocked out, we win, and then say he's not a top 10 goalie or top 5 goalie in the league? I disagree. I disagree. And then Hellebuck doesn't even make the playoffs. Hellebuck had a worse season than Bennington did. Right? I mean, how they said you're talking about Hellebuck finished 4th in the Vezina. I don't think he had that good of a season, at least in my eyes. Right? All right. I'm confident in our goalie tandem, Ashley. Absolutely him. And by the way, I have confirmation that Ashley Jones will be on the show with us on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, we're going to be an hour early. And then Lance is going to join us. I sent Wendy a link. He's got to get his stuff set up, and then he'll be with us. I'll be on for a while. I'm just trying to help my friends out, talk some hockey, talk about how I feel and that. And I don't know. I just think that I'm sorry. I just think that, first of all, you talk about Benny's bad year, and they were 11th in goals against. He wasn't as bad. I'm sorry. Oh, no problem, Ash. No problem. No problem at all. We love you, Ash. We miss you. I've had people asking about you, so I just told them, hey, you need to take some personal time, and that you're okay, and that you're looking forward to coming back. We're looking forward to having you back. Absolutely looking forward to having you back. We miss our Ashley on this show. Okay. VDR, that's a good question, and we'll come back. I want to wait until Wendy or Lance gets on to go over that. But you gotta. I saw things. I look under the surface of things, right? And I look at, you sat there here, the same thing. You talked about, you said Hellebuck, right? Oh, Hellebuck was so great, but the team in front of him. Well, you know what? In a lot of cases, the team that was in front of Bennington didn't play very well, right? And in fact, if you want to know why I think Bennington is a top 10 goalie, game 1, second round playoffs. Game 1, second round of the playoffs. Go look at that game, right? I want to say Bennington faced 50 shots. 50 shots in that game. Oh, and then Wendy's got to go bring his Blackhawks gear.
What?
How you doing, Wendy?
Hockey season's just around the corner, and hockey jersey weather's been hockey jersey weather for the past few days. So
Oh, hey, I got something for you. I wanted to start the show with this for you. So hold on a second. Sweeping away. Sweeping away. The Cubs got swept away this weekend.
Yeah, we sucked. You beat the 2022 Chicago Cubs. Big deal.
I'm sorry, but I had to do that too.
I'm just
You know
saying,
I love
beat
you.
the 2022 Chicago Cubs. What a deal that is.
Well, I mean, the Cardinals are in first place, my friend. Lance, how you doing, bud?
Doing fine. How are you guys?
Okay, so VDAR brings this up, and he says, may we know why Bennington is a top 10 in your eyes?
Yep, I will.
The goals against was mostly Husso. And I don't see one of the things that was brought up. So he's asking why I think Bennington's actually higher than a top. I think it could be. I think by the end of this season, he's going to be a top 5 goalie in the league.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. Okay. Bennington, the only time he was ever a top 5 goalie in the league was that half season he came up and got the Blues to the Cup. The rest of his career, he's hovered somewhere between 9 and 12, somewhere in that range. And if you want to be a top 5 goalie, you've got to have a goals against normally of under 2.4. And I don't see him being that. Could he be close? I think Bennington in a good season is a 2.5 to 2.59 goals against guy. He will never, ever, and I can guarantee you this, he will never, ever play in a full season. He will never, ever play at least 50 games in a season and have a goals against of 1.89 like he did at the end of that year. He's a very good goalie, and I'm not trying to diss him. When I say top 10, he's pretty close to 5. I would put him, he's got the potential to be a 7 or 8 in my mind. Top 5, it's going to take a great season by the Blues and another great season like he had his rookie year. And that's the only way I can see it happen. I love the guy, and I can't stand these haters that act like he's the worst goalie ever to play, which I don't get. Yeah. And I want to mention one thing real quick. I'm going to have a new media partner, and I haven't announced this yet. I got a new media partner because Lineup Media is going in a different direction, and they're no longer going to have podcasts. So I found a different media partner.
Okay.
So I'm getting all my old episodes off of their site to put on a new site and everything, and the new updated website will be coming soon. And this goes to, and the reason I'm bringing this up is people still to this day say Jake Allen with the Blues was terrible. Do you know how many games since 2016, I guess it is, to 2018, I guess it was, that Jake Allen played for the Blues? And I'd see Jake Allen and the Blues win 2-1. Jake Allen and the Blues win 2-0. Jake Allen and the Blues win 1-0. Jake Allen and the Blues
he can win those low-scoring games.
Yeah, he was very good for the Blues for a lot of the time he was here. And for people to diss him, I think it's the same people that are dissing Bennington. I don't quite agree with you, but I'm pretty close to you. I don't think he's number 10. I think if he has a season, he can be top 7, top 8. But would it surprise me, Guy, if he was in the top 4 or 5? No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. So VDR brought this up. He said, no, Hellebuyck was far better. The team in front of him was not.
No.
I remember a lot of games with Bennington where the team in front of him was not good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna ask him this question too. How did Hellebuyck do in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's what I brought up. Now, Wendy, you said small sample size, right? When I bring up the playoffs.
Yeah, that's too much.
It is a small sample size. It is a small.
You're comparing a full season where he lost the net to a small sample size in the playoffs.
Well,
if I had to choose in a game between Hellebuyck and Bennington, I would choose Bennington. But I will say Hellebuyck had a better overall season last year than Bennington did.
Okay, that might be true. However, let's go back to that. If you want to know, I can single one game and say this is why Bennington is a top 5 goalie in the league. One game tells me that, and I want to hear you guys argue this. Game 1, second round. He faced what? He faced what? 50-something shots. Ended up giving up 3 goals. He faced 11 shots in the overtime to none. The team in front of him was absolutely horrible, yet they almost won that game. They almost won that game. They came back and almost won that game. That was all on Bennington. Bennington had COVID during the season. He had some injuries. There's other things there. What I saw in Bennington in the playoffs was the Bennington that I expected to be playing all season long. And I think that's the Bennington that we're going to get this season. And even go up to he was injured. I think that's the Bennington we were going to get. I really do. And how many people have said Bennington doesn't get injured, we win that series? How many people have said that on this show? Well, then you're going to go and tell me he's not a top 10 goalie. How can you have it both ways? You can't. It's either one or the other. Now, Wendy, you're a Blues hater. I get it. No problem.
I'm not. I'm just stating what I think. Bennington last year does not deserve to be in a top 10 position just because of he lost his net last season and it took him to come to the playoffs to get that net back. That's it. He did not have the net all season. He lost to Ville Husso, and now he has to prove himself as that full-time starter again in St. Louis.
I don't think he has to prove himself. I disagree with him having to prove himself.
He has to prove himself because this was a question that went on in Chicago for years with Corey Crawford. Everyone viewed Corey Crawford as a one and done after 2013, who should have won that Conn Smythe Trophy. Still is a bullshit way they did not give it to him. But each and every year, Corey Crawford had to battle for that starting position, even though Hawks fans would argue the other guy like Scott Darling, like a Antti Ranta, or before he went to Philadelphia, Ray Emery, they were the better guy. But Corey Crawford had to prove himself to be the number one man. It took him to get to that playoff positioning to show, yeah, he's the full-time guy. But now St. Louis is having that same situation, in my opinion, and he will never be viewed as a top 10 goalie because Corey Crawford had that same situation.
I will say this about Bennington's playoff game one. The guy's right. The team played like trash in front of him. And I will say he played the best game out of any goalie I watched in every series against the Avalanche in that first game. That was the best game anybody played against the Avalanche through all four series that I can remember right now. And it was one of the better performances by a goalie. It's just that his team didn't play well in front of him. But I don't think he necessarily has to prove it. I think what he has to do is let people know he's still that goalie. I don't know if he's necessarily got to prove it, but I think to himself he's got a little chip on his shoulder, and he's going to say, okay, everybody's saying I'm not that good of a goalie. That 1 year I came up was a fluke. Well, maybe I'm not that 1.89 guy, but I'm pretty damn good. And I
think he's a 2.2 to 2.4 guy, to be honest with you. And we're getting some static from your mic. Check your cord there, Lance.
All right.
We're getting almost that little robotic ting.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, sometimes it's just unplug and replug your mic. It might be just a simple loose connection. But no, I look at this list of top 10, and there's at least one, if not two, I could put. I thought Bennington would have been anywhere from 6 to 8.
Where are you seeing the top 10 list anyways?
It's on NHL.com.
Is it?
Yep. So number 10. Number 10 is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay.
Right? 2.90 goals against average with a 908 save percentage in 56 regular season games.
Think about it. Half those numbers came with the Hawks, who were terrible defensively, and those are some good goaltending numbers of terrible defense.
Jake Ottinger's number 9 from the Dallas Stars, and you know what? You know why Ottinger's number 9? Because of his playoffs. Right?
I don't think so. Ottinger kept the Stars in every game all season. Without Ottinger, the Stars missed the playoffs.
He was 30-15-1 with a 253 GAA. Hold on a second. I want to pull something up here. Let's go to goalies.
Otter's a good goalie, and seeing him at top 9 is actually a good spot for him.
Okay, I actually, I might need to filter this a little bit. Games played. Let's say minimum games of 15. Not 150. 15 games played. Take out some of the lower ones, but we'll go GAA, just GAA. Right? Where was? How low was he? Oh wow, he was 48th in the league at 313. Okay, a little worse than I thought. He was 18, 14, and 4, just a little above 500. He had a 901 and a 313.
Mm-hmm.
But then if we pull in the playoffs, we go to the playoffs, and I don't know. There's just something about the way he was in those playoffs. Oops.
Oh, he was great in the playoffs. I would admit that, but games I watched the Stars in the regular season, Jake Ottinger was the main reason why they were in every game. Hell, the dude split a shutout with Marc-Andre Fleury.
Bennington in the playoffs had a 170 minimum, 3 games played at a 171. Ottinger had a 181. He was 4-1 in the playoffs, right? With a 949 and a 172. Ottinger was just a tad better with a 954. Right? I just, for me, and I heard Lance pop back in here. There we go, Lance. How you doing, bud?
Is it still whiny?
Oh, nope. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, sounds actually perfect. I just think he's saying that Connor Ingram was the best against the Avs in the playoffs. Not even close.
No way.
No, I think I know I don't want to come off like a jerk, but that sounds like a kind of like a troll. But Ingram did have a good game too against the Avs, even though he got really shelved in that game too.
Yeah, and he didn't face 50 some odd shots.
Yeah. That McDavid's not now. I will say this. I'm
not
glad
calling
McDavid
him
came
a
back.
troll, but I'm just saying Connor Ingram should never be an answer.
You talk about Ingram, 9 super grade A saves. Bennington, game 1, had 4 super grade A saves, not even close. Bennington faced a lot more shots and kept his team in the game. Mm-hmm. Ingram didn't. Right? He said he faced 51 shots. I'd have to look at it. I don't have it on in front of me. And McDavid's not a troll. I give that to him.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but I also have told McDavid that once the season starts, or as we get closer to if you're going to put your name like this, like he has, I'm not going to show your comments anymore. Right? I've decided that if you're not going to man up like I do, like we do, show our faces, put our faces and our names out there, then I'm not going to do it. I've decided I'm not going to give you the time of day.
Yeah, and I watched the show the other night because I wasn't able to be on.
Yeah,
I barely made it tonight because I'm not feeling good. But
yeah,
I'll tell you, I understand fans want to talk about how great their own team is and how great their backup goalie is and this and that but it's just another example of another fan. Unlike me, I'll call out players on the Blues constantly when they play bad. Some people just don't. And I don't understand all the hype. It's not as bad as Vegas. But if somebody says Edmonton's going to win the cup, I at least respect it. Somebody says Vegas is, I laugh at him. But to be all in on Edmonton winning the cup, I don't see what proof there is that shows me anything. I really don't see it.
Yeah. Right now, if I was to ask you, who are your cup contenders? Who are your, I'd say, top 4 or 5 teams that you think are going to challenge for the cup? Who would you go with? I'll start with Wendy. I think this is a good question. Wendy, who are your top 5 teams that you think are going to challenge for the Cup?
Well,
I already know I'm going to disagree with one of them. So
I'll have Tampa on that
Okay.
because Tampa's been in it the last couple seasons.
I got that. Tampa.
I would also put the Rangers.
Not there for me. I think the Rangers were a one and done. I think the
I
Rangers were a
don't think
Montreal.
so. I like the additions they made this offseason.
You've already taken 2 of my teams, so.
Okay.
The Calgary Flames,
Okay.
Carolina Hurricanes,
Okay.
and I would even put the I really don't think they will do it, but I usually throw the defending champions, he'll grab the Abs just because they have that defending champion pedigree right now.
Yeah. The Avs are the one I absolutely disagree with.
I'm
sorry.
I wouldn't say it, but there's not really that true top 5 that I can see as true contenders.
You can't put St. Louis in that mark?
I don't think they are.
And that's fair. That's fair, but I do. And there's one thing that I think everybody is missing with the Avalanche this season, and it's huge. It's a huge thing to miss.
I know where you're going with it.
Where am I going?
You're going to say with the fact that they lost all their pieces and now they have another questionable goaltending tandem.
Well, it's not even that. There's another big thing that everybody misses. They went into last season with a chip on their shoulder and a Stanley Cup or bust mentality. Absolutely. They went into the season like that. That entire team went into the season with that mentality. This team is not going to go into the season with that mentality. And I think that mentality covered up their goaltending issues. It covered up some of the stuff. It kept some of the off ice stuff from coming on ice. It Kadri being a good citizen all year, things like that up until the playoffs, obviously. But at some point, that's going to affect them a lot more as they go along. And then you add in a worse goalie tandem. You add in the change. They've lost what, 215 points, and they brought in like 40, a negative 170 and 170 something point difference. That's huge. That's huge. And I also think that defensively, they may have gotten a little worse. They may have backed off. Now, I know that, and I can't think of his name now, the kid from there that won the Norris.
Makar
is a great defenseman, but he's an offensive defenseman.
But if you watched him in the playoffs, he was actually getting back and tracking in the defensive zone very strongly. The way he was playing defense in that playoff and during the regular season remind me a hell of a lot of the Duncan Keith during his cup runs.
Yep. And another thing that I remember, and I remember distinctively, how many years did we say, damn, the Lightning are so good. When are they going to win that cup? And they focused that first year they won the cup. They focused, this is our year. We're going to win the cup. Balls to the wall. We're going to win the cup. The next year, they won the cup. So I'm not putting the Avalanche out of it. They've lost a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that they're going to fall, 5-6 places in the Western Conference. I think they'll finish second or third in the Central. I still think they're going to be a good team. And could they win the cup? Yeah. I mean, there's to me there's a couple favorites, and I agree with Nick that I think Calgary's up there. It's not because of Kadri. I just think they got a good team. I think that the Rangers I was going to pick, and I agree with the Lightning. Florida, to me, is a little bit looking out, Ian. They're close, but I just don't know if they're going to have enough to get to the Stanley Cup. I think they're going to be a good team. But I just don't see I don't see the Avalanche falling all the way out of the playoffs like you do, Guy. I just don't.
Well, I get that. And you can bring in for an example, you can bring in the 16 or 15, 16, 16, 17 Pittsburgh Penguins, right? You look at the 16, 17 Penguins, they came out of the gate in absolute chaos, right? I mean, they ended up firing their coach in November, I think it was, or December. And they sneak into the playoffs and they're able to run in and run in for another cup. However, I think that the dominoes fell just perfectly for them in that second cup run. They came into that season, they didn't have that cup or bust mentality, and it showed. I don't think Jared Bernard is going to get fired if this team doesn't come in with that mentality, and it shows. But I don't see him being able to turn it around once it shows.
I'm just saying this. The Avalanche have an easier run to make it to the playoffs this year than they did last year, because this year the Central Division is the worst division in hockey.
And
I don't want to say it's the worst, but it's up there.
Yeah, and
I think the Metro might be a little worse.
And
I
look.
Who's got the Montreal in there?
That's the Atlantic.
It's the
Atlantic. Okay.
Honestly, Montreal's the only terrible team in that division.
Okay.
Yeah.
In our division, we have two teams going to battle for Connor Bedard.
Yeah. And you know, another thing is, I remember back in the 2010s when Chicago started winning their cups, and people saying, "Oh, you know, they'll win one, and then they won the second. Well, they won't win another one." Well, the thing is, they brought in players and let some players go every one of those seasons. They weren't the same team every year. They had their core together, but they weren't the same team every year. And a lot of people didn't think they would win the 3 cups that they won in that amount of time. And I'm not saying,
did they let go of anybody that was as much, you know, that was a major cog?
Yeah,
I mean, not a core, but a major cog.
Yeah,
they did.
Who?
They lost Brandon Saad.
Yep.
Once before.
What has Saad done since then? I mean, look, I love him on the Blues, but what has he done since then?
Well, first off, he came back to the Hawks, so I shouldn't really add Saad there. But after they lost Saad, the team, you could tell there was that missing piece that had that young defensive mindseted, big body, offensively minded with a good, strong defensive side of their game. And Saad, you lost that after the 2015 Cup. He went to the Blue Jackets, and after the 2013 Cup, they lost this Stanley Cup game-winning goal scorer and Dave Bolin, who was a key contributor to the Hawks and how well their PK system was in the first 2 Cup runs. And the team just lost key contributors on certain positions of their team. So, like 2010, they lost a ton. They lost Dustin Byfuglien. They lost Andrew Ladd. They lost.
And where did they go in 20? And what did they do in 2011? Weren't they one of the worst teams in the league?
No, we made it to the playoffs as the 8th seed, making it to forcing a Game 7 against the Vancouver Canucks.
In the first round?
Yeah, in the first round. We were down 3-0 in that series and forced a Game 7. And forced an overtime in that Game 7.
Okay, fair enough, but still, they lost all those pieces and then barely made the playoffs.
Yeah,
AC. You just said they were an AC.
Still made the playoffs by 10 additional points.
Yeah, I want to get a real point across here to McDavid here. Buddy, if you look at these preseason things and the percentage of for the last 3 or 4 years now, the odds makers have said the Avalanche are going to win it. They won it one time, and then
there's no way St. Louis has a 1%, less than 1% chance to win a cup. There's no freaking way.
No,
I want to know where he got this.
Everybody I've watched have the Blues about 10th or 11th on winning the cup. Everybody that I've seen, and you know the thing is, McDavid, these guys making these odds, 80% of them have the top 5 odds of the Golden Knights winning the cup. I'm sure you don't think that's correct. So I don't ever look at the beginning of the year like Guy and I have talked about. I take it 20 games at a time. See how your team's doing every 20 games. And by about the 40th game, you pretty well know who your team is.
Yeah.
And where you can start seeing the team start to fold out by making playoff positioning is by U.S. Thanksgiving. Whenever it hits the U.S. Thanksgiving mark, you start seeing the teams that are playoff teams versus the teams that are not.
Yeah, that's about the 20. It's about the 20% mark, the 16 game mark, somewhere right around there. No, I agree. I agree with that. I'm trying to look at things both analytically and through the eye test, right? The historical eye test tells me that when a team loses what they've lost. Oh, Ryan, we're boring Ryan Green, by the way.
Hey, Ryan.
Sorry,
Green,
Ryan.
You need to change that to a Blackhawk jersey. Your namesake is now a Blackhawk.
My what?
Ryan Green.
The Hawks drafted Ryan Green.
Yeah, Ryan Green.
No, for me, historically, you just see some. When you see a team that wins the cup the way the Avalanche did, a lot of times the next season they come back and they don't do anything.
Yeah, and I will say one thing. If the Avalanche do win the cup, let's just say that, or they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for them this year to do it than it was last year. They're not going to win the cup and say we only lost 4 games to get here. That's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, no. Right. Well, that's the other thing. You know, McDavid's like, oh, the Oilers played them so good and so hard.
No, they didn't.
They got swept.
They got swept. And the thing with the Oilers, I still don't trust their goaltending.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm
with you there.
I like Jack Campbell as a goalie, but I don't think he's a Stanley Cup contending goaltender.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a goalie that's never been past the first round. Who's never won a playoff series.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Yeah?
He did it with the Kings.
Huh?
He won a playoff series with the Kings
at one point.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking with Toronto. Well, at least in the last 5 years he hasn't.
He was a backup.
He was a backup to Quick.
So. But he still made it out of the first round before.
Yeah.
As a backup, but as a starter, has he made it out of the first round?
No.
See, so you've got a guy that
for Kirsten that will never make it out.
Here's the thing: people got him from the Kings. Toronto said, "This is our guy. He's going to win us the cup." Well, here's the problem: a good goalie can win you the cup, but if you don't have the defense in front of you, and you have 5 guys making $48 million, it's hard to win. And for the Oilers just to think because this guy played so well for the Leafs, he's going to bring them a couple. I got news to tell you. Calgary really exposed the Oilers. Even though the Oilers beat them, Calgary exposed them, and then the Avalanche really exposed what a good team can do to the Oilers. Did they lay down and die? No, I don't think the Oilers laid down and died. Did they play great? No. But the Avalanche really exposed them in that finals to get to the cup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, first of all, I still contend that the referees helped the Avalanche get to the Cup Finals a lot. They helped the Avalanche get that cup a lot more than people want to give them credit for. There were too many questionable plays there.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't want McDavid thinking I hate the Oilers. I like the Oilers. I really do. I would like to see them win another cup. I really would, because I know fans up there. I've been to the building, their new building up there. It's a great place to watch a game. It's fun. The fans love their team. I would love to see them win another one. I just think they're a few pieces away still.
Just don't wear those ugly ass third uniforms.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah.
I'm glad they are finally back in the Gretzky era.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, those are beautiful.
Jason Nichols is asking if you're going to jump on the Blues bandwagon until the Hawks are ready to roll again.
Oh, jeez.
Hell no.
Hey, Jason, that's like asking a Blues fan the same thing about the Blackhawks.
Blues have a better D than St. Louis. Evan Bouchard is better than anyone on St. Louis. I absolutely
love that. I love Evan Bouchard, but
yeah, he's good.
Their defense is very questionable in Edmonton.
Yep. And like I said, The defense for Edmonton and the defense for Toronto is what will win them or lose them games in the playoffs. That's as simple as it is.
I mean, if the rumors are true and the Hawks could trade, if they aren't going to have, it won't happen because his contract's too long.
Yep.
But if they did trade Steph Jones and the Oilers were a team that's in play on him, will he improve that defense? Maybe. But
at what cost?
That team's defense is really questionable.
Very questionable.
Yeah. He says he's talking St. Louis's defense, and Nurse is as well. I disagree with that. I look
like
at Falk and Krug. Falk and Krug are two very, very good defensemen.
Yeah, I like Darnell Nurse, but he's not as good as some people go on. You know, I like him. He's a solid.
They should never have traded Ethan Bear.
Nope,
I'm sorry.
They shouldn't.
They should not have gotten rid of Ethan Bear. If they kept Ethan Bear, their defense would be a lot better than.
Yeah, and you know what, Nick? A lot of Edmonton fans forget about him. They forget about that.
Yeah, I know.
Wendy, are the Hawks going to be as good or as bad as the Cubs or worse?
Oh, geez.
It's kind of hard to compare two different sports, but the Hawks are in a worse position to win.
I think so too. Yep.
Or in a better position to win right now.
I would say right now, although Chicago has a good farm system, and like Nick has brought up several times, they could bring up young guys this year, and they would probably be better than guys that are on the team, but they don't want to expose them, and they want their minor league team to get more. Well,
here you go.
Time.
This statement right here says Nurse is on McCarr's level. No,
hey,
McDavid, is that a joke?
McDavid, I feel like crap from radiation treatment. I'm still
McDavid, I know you aren't trying to troll, but that one feels kind of trollish.
Well, I don't think McDavid purposely trolls, but he is a homer. He calls me. He's got the balls to call me a homer.
I'm going to put it to you. I'm going to put it to you this way: if Darnell,
but not as much as he is.
Yeah, if Darnell Nurse was on the Blues, he would be the number 4 or number 5 defenseman. That's what he would be on the Blues.
Yeah. Marcus, whatever, Niebelboom might win the Calder.
No, he's not.
No, he won't.
He's trolling now.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, he's being. This is. I won't want to call him a troll because he does this. I mean, this is what he does, and he will call me a homer, but he's more of a homer than I am. Right.
I would say that a player that to watch out for Calder race. Lucas Reichel.
Who has a better chance to win their division, St. Louis or Edmonton?
What was that?
Who has a better chance to win their division, St. Louis or Edmonton?
St. Louis, because the division's much weaker.
Yep.
Well, it's got to take into play, right? First of all, I think St. Louis is in a better position to win their division. I think that Edmonton has some. I'm hoping Nugent Hopkins is better. And can come back, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not 100% sure.
I want to let you guys know something. I don't know if you knew this or not, but about 4 years ago, the Blues and Doug Armstrong, and I don't remember who the pieces were, but I was told they were within a hair's inch close of finalizing a deal for Ryan Nugent Hopkins to come for the Blues.
I remember that.
Yeah,
there was another. The Hawks were actually also on a deal on Nugent Hopkins about 4 years ago too.
Yep.
That was before he signed his contract, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there was talk. I remember that there were some pieces. That's a guy I would have liked.
There were multiple teams, like Nick said, that were in that race.
Yeah, like the Hawks and Blues are like the two front runners to land Nugent Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, here's one. And so, Wendy, you were talking about the Calder. Mm-hmm. Who are some of your guys that you think can win the Calder this year?
Lucas Reichel for sure. Yep. I get it. I'm a Blackhawk fan saying that, but
he's good.
I think Reichel breaks out as could be a Calder favorite.
Yep.
Mason McTavish probably should be the front runner to win it.
Yep.
And I could see Slokowski going after it.
That's a pretty good top 4.
I got a dark horse, and look, I'm just calling it a dark horse, and this is the homer in me. But Neighbors has a chance if he gets the ice time that Blues fan want him to have. if he gets second line or heavy third line minutes, he has a chance he could move up to that first line.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I could see him getting some first line time. I could see him having that style of a rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a dark horse, but at the same time, and did I see anything in his 9 games that made me think, oh my God, he's going to be this 30-goal scorer? No, I didn't. Yeah. But I've talked about this, with Perron leaving, there is an opening for guys to show what they got, and for this team to be younger and faster. And this is a great point, but I think Berube got forced to understand that these young guys need that opportunity, right? The only thing that I think is going to hurt him is Kyrou, right? Kyrou got an opportunity. He showed it, and then Kyrou got a big head. Well, is that going to hurt how Berube sees other young guys? Right? I hope not. And I hope that he can rein in Kyrou, and Kyrou can go back and play what Kyrou needs to play. Now I know he's got a little bit better defensively, but really I want Kyrou to be that offensive juggernaut. I want him to be the guy that skates down there and opens up the lanes, and be the guy that's going north on a breakout pass through the neutral zone. That's the guy I want Kyrou to be. To be honest, if Kyrou skated the blue line on defense, I'd be okay with that, as long as he was doing what he needs to do on defense.
Yeah, and I think the tell of the tape is going to be this year for the Blues, like it is with some teams. It's going to be young. It's going to be Kyrou and Thomas, and how well they do, and it's going to be Mikkola and Perinovich and how well they do on defense. I think if those 4 guys have good years, I think the Blues will have very good years. But if they slump for some reason, I think it's going to be kind of hard for the Blues. And another team I think it's going to be hard for that I really like, not as much as the Kings in the Pacific. I think the Kings are going to surprise a lot of people, like Nick and I said. But I think Vancouver's going to be much better. But I
have Vancouver making the playoffs.
The thing that worries me, I think what's going to really push them over the edge, can Elias Peterson stay healthy, number one? Number two, can he get back to the player he was a couple years ago?
I think we started seeing it when Bruce Boudreau became the head coach.
Yeah, he was a little bit better. Yep.
I honestly
there it is.
Yeah, Pettersson back to being Pettersson from his Calder year.
Yep.
No, I do think Peterson is going to have that. I do. Well, not only that, they just signed JT Miller. They got that locked up. Boudreau has the Boudreau effect is there and showing. Really, in all actuality, I could see Vancouver. Man, I'm thinking about this. I originally didn't have Calgary as first, and I don't want to sit there and say that they're going to win the division, because I'm not sold on Kadri. I don't think Kadri's going to be able to be the man there, right? I think that he's going to – I think that the old Kadri's going to come back. I think
he'll get 40, 50 points, but he won't be the guy he was last year.
Yeah. Right. Well, that and that's going to affect them in some manner, but I just can't see Edmonton winning that division either.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Calgary's going to be really good, and it's not because of Kadri. Like I said earlier, you saw the maturation of a lot of guys on that team last year, and that's why the fan base, recently isn't as ticked off that they lost Johnny Gaudreau and that they lost Tkachuk. There are some that are still ticked off about it, but I think they're more of a balanced team. They're not as top heavy as they were last year. They're much more balanced, and I think Calgary's a team that's going to win it.
They got leadership now. They got the one thing. Yep. Calgary has the one thing that they've been missing, and that's leadership.
Yep.
They have dead-on Stanley Cup leadership on that team now, and they have it for the next 6 years.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Nick?
Calgary can also now run 4 lines consecutive. Mm-hmm. They did not have that the last 2 seasons.
Nope.
They had 2 top lines, and that was it.
And then it dropped.
Yeah. Now they can run 4 lines, and it wouldn't hurt them.
Yeah, no, I see him running 3. I don't see 4. I do see
4.
3 there.
I see 4.
They have that fourth line as that grinding defensive mindset of
Energy line.
And I think what they're going to have is a dangerous offensive line set where it's going to be the top 2 lines will get your points, your second 2 lines get some points and play a hard-nosed version of hockey that team's been missing for years.
Okay, and that's fair enough. I mean, for me, they're the class of the division, but I still think that they might struggle a little bit. And Kadri can tear up a locker room. We already know that. We've heard that. We've heard that Kadri can tear up a locker room. He tore up Toronto. That's where they got rid of him.
They really hated him in Toronto in that locker room.
Yeah. Does he have enough strong personalities in Calgary? And he's got a few, but I don't know if he has as many as he had in Colorado to knock him down a peg.
Yeah. And I
look at the Pacific, and I got to tell you, I could see the Kings in second. I could see Vancouver in third. I could see Edmonton slipping as far as fourth. I really do. And I have the Ducks in fifth making the playoffs.
I think if Jack Campbell doesn't play well for them, I think they're probably going to finish second or third in that division. If he all of a sudden comes out to be this guy that every Leafs fan thought he was, that some Kings fans thought he was, then that team's going to be dangerous. But I think that's what it's going to come down to. Their defense is the second thing they got to worry about, and their goaltending is the first thing.
Well, the other thing is look at the offense that he had. Look at the offense that he had in front of him in Toronto, and look at the offense that he has in front of him in Edmonton. Does he have a better offense in front of him? I don't think so.
I think so.
I think so from top to bottom, from all 4 lines. I think Edmonton has spent more wisely, and I think they have more depth. I think Toronto, once they get past them first 2 lines, like Nick said, Calgary had problems. Their lines 3 and 4 just really don't impress me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you have a 60-goal scorer in front of you and it's not enough, right? I mean, that's the
player who's at a 200-point pace midway through a season. I would take that player over a 60-goal player.
Well,
yeah, I know everybody's, and I like Matthews. I really do. When you want to talk about him being number 1 or 2 in top goal scorers, yes, I will agree with that. But if I had an overall player to start a team and somebody offered me McKinnon, McDavid, or Matthews, I would take McDavid or McKinnon over Matthews any day.
I would too.
Oh, I'm not sold on that because goals win games, not assists.
But here's the thing: McKinnon is more of a two-way player. He can play.
McKinnon is. I will agree with that. McKinnon is. I will agree with that.
And McDavid is more of a dishing type of a center than Matthews is.
But McDavid doesn't. McDavid doesn't bring the guys around him with him. He does not raise their game.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
No, he does not.
Okay.
Until this season, up until this playoff, he has always done it on his own. And in fact, once he lost Hopkins, he didn't bring anybody else with him. Once Hopkins went out, that team went south.
Yeah, but
Hopkins was the heart and soul of that team more than McDavid is. Hopkins is the guy that brings others around him up. That's my knock on McDavid, and it will stay my knock on McDavid.
But here's the thing: how many players have we seen play with McDavid and have career years, and they go to another team and they don't even have half as good of a year? Draisaitl, he's a good player, and he would be a good player on any team. He would not be the player he is without Connor McDavid. He wouldn't be. Would not be.
I'm not sold on that.
Nick, do you agree with me?
I kind of agree.
Because I think he would be great. I think he'd be great, but he wouldn't be the player he is.
I don't know. I think Draisaitl on another team when I think that McDavid overshadows those guys that are good. Remember, look at all the number 1 picks they've had, the high picks they've had, and the fact that this is only the second time in 5 years that they've been past the second round. And then they got swept in the conference finals.
Well, that doesn't say anything against
or
McDavid.
Past the first round, I should say.
That doesn't say anything against McDavid. That's just something about their GM and who he drafts.
Yeah.
I think I disagree.
Hell, even Neil Yakupov had a great year with McDavid. That shows me everything about Connor McDavid.
Here's the
Right.
thing. McDavid's played and was in the Calder Cup. Yeah, it was it was the Memorial Cup playoffs multiple times and with the Erie Otters. Want to know who his line mates were with the Erie Otters?
I forget who they were, but I know they're good players.
Alex DeBrincat.
Yep.
And Dylan Strome.
I'm just like I said, just for me, I'm not 100% sold on McDavid. And I know, call me a hater, whatever.
No.
I just, for me, I just keep seeing the playoff failures, and I keep seeing McDavid trying to do everything instead of lifting everybody else around him. And that's what I saw in the Western Conference Finals. I saw McDavid trying to do everything. Who
has more playoff failures than Connor McDavid? Austin Matthews does. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, Matthews sucks in the playoffs. His game does not work for the playoffs.
Nope, it doesn't.
I have not seen any playoff moment out of Austin Matthews to show that he's a top player when it comes to playoff hockey.
He definitely has not been dominant in the playoffs.
How many? I now have to look how many playoff points he has because it's not a lot.
And like I said, I love Matthews, but if I want a guy that can score goals and be a good assist guy, it's going to be McKinnon or McDavid. Now, if you tell me you can have one guy and all he can do is score goals, then it would probably be Matthews.
In 39 games played in playoff hockey alone for Austin Matthews, he has a total of 17 goals, 16 assists for 33 points. This year in the playoffs were his best playoffs, where he had 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. Every other year he averaged just about 4 points a playoff. And he's out in 7 games.
I'm trying to find Matthews here now.
Yeah, I think teams know what they can do to him in the way the game's played in the playoffs. You just have to shut down his
goal scoring and you don't have anything for Matthews. McDavid, on the other hand, he can play a different style when it comes to playoffs because his game works for it because he moves the puck more than he shoots it.
And a lot of people look at nothing but goals. I'd rather have a guy that scored 35 goals and had 90 assists than have a guy that scored 50 goals and had 55 assists. I really would, because
I agree. I would have that same way too.
Yeah, because I want Robert Thomas to score for the Blues, but I want him to dish that puck and find the open people more than I do want him scoring goals.
Okay.
But no, guy, I think Nick and I both understand why you'd pick Matthews. We're just saying that we wouldn't.
Well, it's just, for me, when I look at goal scorers, when I look at goal scorers and you look at some of the best goal scorers in the league, and unfortunately I have to take Gordie Howe out of it because he played during the original 6, and you can't look at the original 6 period, and Rocket Richard, who played in the original 6, can't look at that the same as you can the expansion era. But when I look at expansion era goal scorers, it took them a couple of years to figure things out and to get, Gretzky didn't win a cup his first year either, right? I don't think he won a cup until his third or fourth year, right?
Did he start in 78 or 79 for Edmonton?
I'm checking. Hang on.
Because didn't he play a year or 2 in the WHA before the
he did.
NHL?
Played
he was
for
a
Indianapolis.
In the WHA and then
Indianapolis, Roadrunners.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, guy. It takes goal scorers some time to get going, just as it does centers, defensemen, so on and so forth. And I'm not saying he's not a bad goal scorer. I mean, if you tell me I've got one guy and I need to score a goal, he's going to be one of those guys I'm going to put on my list right now.
Yeah.
It took the Oilers 3 years to win their first.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
3 years with him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Brett Hull. It took Brett Hull 10 years.
What?
Took Brett Hull 10 years.
Yeah, because he went to Dallas.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
that
when
Dallas
he left
team
St.
was
Louis, he
good.
goes to Dallas, and his role changed, and that's when it kind of, he wasn't the guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But he still know how to score goals. What do you think of Bobby Brink? I don't know who. I'll be honest. I can call me an idiot, or I don't know who Bobby Brink is.
I like Bobby Brink.
Right. Oh, by the way, Wendy, I gotta say thank you. I finally watched Criminal
The Danbury
Criminal
Trasher.
Penalties.
Yeah, the
Right.
Danbury Trasher
Yeah.
one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But I gotta say this. I didn't know Mike Rupp played for them.
Yeah, I actually have a Danbury Trasher Mike Rupp jersey.
Oh my goodness. That here's the thing is, part of it is, I look at him and I go, some of this they weren't wrong, some of it they were. But oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I got to give AJ a little bit of credit. He did not do that bad as a GM.
Yeah, and now he's a great businessman with it because he's capitalized off the Netflix series of Untold because ever since that they've been selling Danbury Trasher jerseys with Mike Rupp, with a few other players on the team.
The one I got the question, the winger guy, Wingstrom or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The one that broke his ankle.
Yeah.
He wore a Blues hat that said Blues on it. Is he associated with the Blues in some way?
No, he's from St. Louis area.
Oh, he is?
I believe he's from the St. Louis area.
I couldn't find anything on him.
And then, hell, they had Brett Gretzky on the team.
Yeah. Gretzky's son, right? Or brother?
Brother. But yeah, the Danbury Trashers, it's a legendary story just because it's basically the Sopranos owning a hockey team.
Oh, well, I mean, they came out and said it straight up that the Sopranos more than likely were based off of this guy, Jimmy Gervaisi. Right?
Yep.
That the similarities between the Sopranos and Gervaisi's family was very
the series of the Sopranos.
Yeah.
It lines up, but it's pretty much the Sopranos owning a hockey team. It's ridiculous. It was great, and you would not have that happen again.
No way.
Yeah. What it was? They said it was the Slapshots meet Mighty Ducks, and you know what? I saw it.
Yeah,
That's
a fair statement.
Right? I saw it. I saw it, and they had a guy that had one eye.
Mm-hmm.
One eye. Right? I mean, it was absolutely just crazy. Crazy. He won the NCAA championships this year. Vince, I'll have to do some research on Brink. Who's he playing for?
He's with the Philadelphia Flyer organization. I like Bobby Brink as a prospect, so he's one to watch out for.
Right, I can see that. I wanted to talk about this. So we got Ashley coming on Tuesday, so we'll kind of talk about the NHL.com's 30 and 31 or 32 and 32 on the Blues. Lou Coric wrote it, and I'm not a fan of Lou Coric. That's fine, but it was good articles. I mean, it was well looked at, well written, very well. But I didn't agree with his prospect pool. Right? He's listing Prunovich as a prospect. I don't think you can list Prunovich as a prospect anymore.
How many games did he play last year?
30-something, 40-something. I know he's still considered I don't think he's considered a rookie.
Who, in the NHL?
Yeah.
Who's he saying as a prospect?
Prunovich.
How do you spell his name?
Yeah, the NHL looks at guys, if they've played less than a season and they played 30, 40 games, they're prospects because they still haven't played a full season.
I think the cap for a rookie is in the 50s.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
That doesn't mean anything. Prospects
they will
can
still consider you a prospect if you're still coming into your second season in the NHL.
Yeah,
If you're going to consider you as a prospect.
Yeah.
Then.
Okay.
because
Well,
you
he had
could still be
he had
easily sent down
he had
to
Prunovich
the
1.
AHL.
He had Prunovich 1, Neighbors 2, Bolduc 3, Kessel 4, and Ellis 5.
I'll put
Hoffer 5. Hoffer 5.
I'll put Kessel over Bolduc.
I think Kessel has. I think we could see Kessel this year. I think Kessel could get 9 games this year.
He ain't gonna get any more than that.
Huh?
He ain't gonna get any more than that unless there's a ton of injuries.
Well, I think Kessel could be one of those surprises for me. I liked what he showed in the Calder Cup playoffs. I mean, he's 22, so he's a little bit older. He's got it. He's got that NCAA experience. I think didn't he win? He won something in the tournament. I think they won the NCAA championship, but I think he was like voted one of the better players or something like that.
I don't remember.
Right. I think that Kessel is going to be Kessel's going to be a diamond in the rough that might shine this season if given the chance. If given the chance. I know the Blues are heavy on defense. They've got 8 defensemen right now, but because they're heavy on defense, if Kessel sits there and really does show that he's a defensive defenseman that can score. And that's what the Blues are missing. If he can be that guy, if he can show that, I could see somebody being expendable. I could see somebody being expendable. I'm not sure who because of the way no trade clauses are in that. But I could see somebody getting expendable come December. To me, I think teams wait way too long to make that change, to make their teams better. I think waiting till March is too long. I think the time to make those trades is late December, early January. That is when I would be, if I was a GM, that's when I'd be shopping guys. That's when I'd be looking for who's available.
Well, the only problem is at that time, a lot of GMs still feel that they're in the playoff race and they don't want to trade some players that they feel might get them to the playoff.
But see, there's the thing. That the thing is that you can sit there and say, well, here, this is an even, or this trade is pretty even. It helps you in this area and it helps me in this area without subtracting so much. It's an addition. It's addition by subtraction. And that's when I think a GM can sell that a lot better. And if, that's when I really do. I think some of the best trades happen, in December and January, a lot better than they do in February, in-season trade-wise. Right? I mean, the best time to trade anybody is draft day. That's when you make your best draft trades. Your best trades is draft day.
Not if you're the Hawks.
Well, that's because you have the Hawks out there, and the Hawks will make your draft day look really good.
I'm just saying, if you're saying draft day is where you make good trades, look at the Hawks. They've made bad trades on draft day. Artemi Panarin was traded on draft day, and we got Brandon Saad and Anton Beachball Forsberg back.
Well, there was something going on with Panarin in the locker room. I'm telling you.
It was not that. There was nothing going on in the locker room in Chicago between Panarin.
Then why trade him? Because I think they could have signed him.
Oh, no. He said he didn't want to sign there.
Yeah,
he didn't want to sign
there. It was Stan Bowman's ego. That's why they traded him. Stan Bowman's ego versus Joel Quenneville. That's what it was. Coach Q, as soon as that trade happened, left the building. He left the United Center when that trade happened because he was so pissed off at Stan Bowman and how he's making terrible trades.
Fair enough.
That
right?
that was Stan Bowman's ego to a key, to the finest point because that man had the largest fucking ego in hockey, and I fucking hated him for how he ran a hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad he can rot in hell and he can rot in the fucking basement of anywhere because he's never getting a fucking job in hockey ever again. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nick, Please don't hold anything back. I really want to know how you feel.
I'm sorry. I fucking hate Stan Bowman. I hated him.
Winnie dropping the F-bombs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hated him.
He was terrible.
For the scandal, I never liked the man. He did not build the 2010 Blackhawks.
Nope.
He did not build that core. That was not his fingerprints on that team. That was Dale Talon creating that core of that roster, and Bowman took all the credit for it.
Yep.
Hey, Wendy, I got something for you, bud.
Oh, God.
All right. Here's another one. Oh, my God. Scandella's the worst fucking defenseman, and I'm sorry. I'm going off. I'm pissed. I'm so sick and tired here. Scandella's so fucking bad. He can't play worth a shit. Fucking trade Scandella for a goddamn bag of pucks right the fuck now. It don't work that way, people.
There you go, Wendy.
Sorry, I got on my own tangent about.
Oh, you're fine.
Bowman.
No, it's fine. It's fine. That's why we have this. That's why we have this forum, this platform to do that. We we're allowed to do that. We don't have the FCC to say we can't do that.
I would say that I've never done that on my channel. I've had my rants on my channel.
Yeah.
But I kept the PG because I don't tend to cuss on my channel. Since I
try not. You know what? We know I try not to, but sometimes the sailor comes out.
Well, I will tell you this. You will never hear me do that, but if you do, you better check the national papers the next morning because something bad's going to happen that night.
We have this forum, we have this platform that we use to let what we feel come out, and whether we're experienced or whether we're knowledgeable or whatever you want to look at, what we see and what we feel, we give people an opportunity to talk back to us, right? We give people an opportunity. We enter the arena and we say, here we are. And you know what? If you want to enter that arena, you got to take it. And I have trouble with that sometimes. However, at the same time, if I'm going to take it, I'm going to take it from somebody in my face and not in my back.
Yeah, and
right?
And we've got people that come on all the time, like McDavid, MVP guy, and we appreciate him coming on here. We really do. And it's not that we hate him; we just disagree with him.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with McDavid. I mean, McDavid's probably one of the few that I may case by case go, okay, I know who he is. But when it comes down to it, next season or once we get into training camp and we're doing everyday shows again, if you're not showing your face, I'm probably not showing or any of your comments.
If you're not showing your face, then this ain't the place.
Yeah. Right. And look, I got nothing like Vince. I understand maybe Vince can't. Okay. I get it. But if he, I can see what he's doing. Right. I'm okay with that, but I prefer that at some point you got to contact me and let me know who you are. Now, it's not easy to contact me. See, that's the one issue I really have with YouTube. YouTube doesn't have any way to really reach out and contact other than chats or comments.
Then, Guy, what I would do every show at the beginning and at the end, give them your email address, tell people to email you to get in contact with you.
It's on the bottom of the screen. It's on the bottom of the screen every show. It's going through the screen right now, Lance. Right?
I don't see your email address.
Hold on.
I don't think your email.
I thought I had it there.
No, you don't. Nope.
At BlueNote
Twitter.
Report.
Nope.
Okay, okay. I guess I will have to put it back. I thought it was there. Okay, I'll have to put it on there.
I like that, Alex. Alex, what are we talking about?
I went on.
Alex is just joining us. How you doing, Alex, man? How you doing, buddy? Alex is going through a tough time right now. Our hearts are with you, buddy. I'm thinking, and if you ever need to talk, just reach out to me. Actually, a lot of people have been doing that lately. A lot of people have been reaching out to me to, when they're having a rough time to talk, and I appreciate that they're willing to do that. So, right. Jason Nichols says, well, this is me, man, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Class back, baby. But look, Jason, I've talked about the issue you and me had, whatever perceived or whatever or not, it was there. And we were both man enough to admit it. And, and move on. And I don't, I've admitted when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong. And, if you don't like what I got to say, that's on you. I have a right to say what I want to say. I have a right to be here. I have a right to do this show, whether you like it or not. You want to do a show? You want to start a blues show? Go right the fuck ahead and do it. If you blow up and I don't, more power to you. Doesn't matter. I like doing this. It's for me, and I have fun. Right? I got good friends. I met some really good people through this show. The current company included. Well, except for Wendy, he's excluded.
Jeez.
Wendy, I'm joking, bud.
Yeah.
You know it. Current company included. And then you look at the guys on here, Shockey, Kennedy, Nichols, Hefner. Hefner always says best thing he ever did was tear up his knee so he could watch the show one day when I was doing recorded shows. Oh, by the way, I was actually working. I was thinking about doing a new song parody to the tune of Hallelujah.
Well, just make sure that Nick and I aren't on the show.
Yes.
Instead of Hallelujah, I'll call it Let's Go Blues.
Yeah, I would leave.
And
you will never see me again.
It may not be that bad. It may not be that bad. Come on, the Mighty Shin. A lot of people like that one, right? A lot of people like the Mighty Shin.
Yeah,
the Mighty Shin they like. I think that the Bennington one they don't like because they don't know the song. I think that's the issue. But the Huso one people like, but can't really use it anymore.
No.
Right? Is it Bennington or Grice? Doesn't really rhyme.
So did you guys trade Huso for Grice?
No. We traded Huso for a draft pick and then turned around and signed Grice.
Okay.
Right? I still think that that's an upgrade. I really do.
I don't think so.
Look at Grice when he was with the Islanders when they were winning. And this guy he was a 2.2 to 2.4 goalie. Yeah, I know he's a little bit older, but we've got a better defense in front of him than he ever had in Detroit.
He was also in the Islanders, and he was not good with the Islanders.
Yeah,
no, when the Islanders were going to the Eastern Conference Finals, he was there when they were going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
He was never their starting goalie in those Eastern Conference Finals.
Actually, I thought he was one year.
Nope.
Okay.
I thought Halak got hurt one year, and he was.
Yeah.
No, it was Leonard had that run, and then when they got Halak, it was pretty much Halak's net.
All right. Alex, I don't know where Alex is. I said if Pareko uses his size. So Alex might actually be watching this, not live, but on Memorex.
Oh,
so that might be where that is.
Alex, you missed a good rant.
Yeah, you did. He'll get it. Hey guys, great show tonight, man. Hour and a half. See, we're getting better. We're being able to talk a lot longer and be keep people's attention going longer. I really appreciate it. I love what you guys can do. Tuesday, 8 p.m. I'm going to actually move the show back to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Vice 9. That's going to help Ashley out. She's going to be with me Tuesday and Thursday.
Good.
Say again, Lance?
I said that's good.
That's good. Is 8 o'clock going to help you out a little bit more?
Tuesday it won't work out.
Tuesday won't, but let's see. Wrong. Grice was the starting goalie. He played 40 to 50 games for the Islanders every year except one. See, that's what I thought.
He was the starting goalie in the regular season, but when it came to the playoffs, he did not have the starting net.
We're actually towards the end of the show there, Alex. I'm not sure where you're watching, what part of the show you're at. I don't know if you're watching us live or not, bud. Okay, who's got to go? Okay, Lance, no problem. I'm gonna be calling it a show anyways. We're at the hour and 30 mark. I didn't expect to go this long.
You guys have a great rest of your night and a good day tomorrow too.
Take care.
Has
All
the
right, buddy.
NHL made? I didn't see this question earlier, John. Did the NHL make a rule change that we're not aware of? Not to my.
No.
I haven't heard of any rule changes for this upcoming
No
season yet.
rule changes have come out yet. The NHL tends to announce the rule changes pretty much when training camp officially starts.
Yeah, well, normally rule changes. If there's going to be a rule change, it's during a governor's meeting.
Yeah, and that's when they have them. But when you start hearing about them more, you start hearing them more during the training camps.
I think I don't think there's going to be any quote rule changes. I think that they're going to crack down on tripping and cross checking.
I honestly can agree there. But even though they were cracking down on cross-checking last year.
Well, they said they were, but they didn't. Tripping is the one. Tripping was the most called penalty last year.
That
right?
I don't believe, because the games I watched, it seemed like cross-checking was called more.
It wasn't, cross-checking wasn't called enough as much as they wanted it. Like they called. Well, look at the boarding call on Kane and Vander Kane. That wasn't even A, boarding, or B, cross-checking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For cross-checking, the rule states that your elbows must fully extend. Fully extend. Kane did this. That's not a cross-check. Right? When Kane hit Kadri, he and you watch it. You watch, because I really looked at that play. He barely, he doesn't, his elbows don't straighten out.
Mm-hmm.
He does one of these numbers that guys do in that area at the red line. And that's the other thing. Everyone says, oh, well, he was so close to the boards. The red line's what, 8 feet, 10 feet from the boards?
I don't think it's that far.
I'd have to look. I think that red line is 10 feet. Because I watch guys when they fall down, straight out 6'6" guys, and they're not going over the red line.
I think it's about 8, not 10.
I'd have to look at the. Actually, you know what? While we're here, why not do this? Let's see. I had it up. I want to say it's 10 feet. I really want to say it's 10 feet. So they have not released this year's rule book yet. But let me pull the rule book up. Did you watch the women's gold medal game today?
I did.
What did you think of it?
It was a good game. Too bad U.S. couldn't get that extra goal or two that they needed.
Oh, windy. 11 feet. Okay. It's 11 feet from the back of the net, from the back of the rink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So directly behind the net. So not where the curve is, right? Directly behind the net, it's 11 feet.
Okay.
Now it curves in. If you look at where Kadri was right at the trapezoid.
Yeah.
At the goal line, at the trapezoid when he was hit. So he was 11 foot from the boards.
Okay.
Right? And yeah, because I'm looking at the dimensions of the rink right here. So, that's pretty cool. Well, bud, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good one, man. Well, if you're available Tuesday, you can join me and Ashley to talk about the Central Division and what's going on in the off season. And we're what? Training camp starts like the 15th?
Training camp starts after next week.
Right. It's usually so the Blues alumni do their alumni camp
Mm-hmm.
this coming week or next week, and training camp happens right after it.
Okay.
Because they use everything there. So training camp happens right after it. So that's why I want to say it's right around the 15th. And the first game is like the 24th.
I know this week the Blackhawks and Wild are having their prospect tournament taking place at the Blackhawks practice facility.
And well, I know that the Detroit prospect tournament should be coming up.
Yeah, the Hawks used to play in that tournament, but they decided not to anymore.
Well, I know St. Louis plays, Detroit plays, I think Toronto plays, and I'm not sure who the fourth team is.
The Travis City one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Travis City.
Yeah,
right?
The Hawks used to be part of it. Same with the Wild, but they pulled out of it.
Right.
2 years ago.
Yeah. The Wild might, that might be the fourth team. The Wild might be the fourth team.
Nope.
Oh, they pulled out?
Yeah, they pulled out because they play the Blackhawks prospects.
Okay. I like that tournament. I think it gives us a good chance because, like last season, I saw Hoffer, and Hoffer didn't impress me as much as Ellis did. But I'm hoping Ellis can have I think Ellis is the goalie of the future for the Blues.
Okay.
Right, I really do. I know Hoffer's there, but I think Ellis has a lot more upside for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bud, have a great night. I will catch you on the next Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha, mahalo, and you got to know I'm bleeding blue with you.